Right, let's get over to Jimmy DeVille's workshop where he's going to show us how simple it is to add performance to almost any car.
These are jobs that we can all do to the motors we love from the comfort of our own garage.
Come on, you can't afford not to watch.
This time, I'm going to show you how to replace a car's crucial ignition system using this iconic 1972 VW Beetle.
I love the Beetle for that rear-mounted air-cooled bundle of joy. But of course, I also love them for their quirky looks. However, their ignition systems can be a weak spot, so this is the perfect car for me to show you what mods can be done.
The ignition system creates that all-important spark that turns fuel and air into power. Put simply, without the ignition system, your car wouldn't move. And if it's not working properly, your car will be way down on power and performance. It might look complicated, but anyone can have a go. And this work can apply to many cars out there.
If we have a look at this engine, there are a couple of really good, clear signs that it could be struggling with its ignition. The first one is this blistered paint on the rear valance, and that's come from too much heat coming from the exhaust, and that's because of the poor ignition. The engine is having to work hard. For the second one, we're going to need to listen to this engine. Paul, fire her up. Okay, if you listen to the idle, you can hear that it is really struggling and kind of spluttering, and it almost cuts out, and that's come from poor ignition. Paul, that'll do. Let me show you the problem. Now, this is a distributor, and inside we have a rotating arm, and that sends a spark down the HT leads to the spark plug where they ignite the air-fuel mix inside the cylinder. It sounds kind of simple, but to make that happen, there are lots of mechanical parts. First ones being these, the points. Now, these are kind of like a switch, and they have to open a precise amount at an exact moment to make sure the spark is delivered exactly when the engine needs it. And it's the mechanical nature of these that can go wrong, so that's exactly what I'm going to be modifying.
First things first, you need to unplug all of the high tension or HT leads from the cap. And because this Beetle has 4 cylinders, there are 4 HT leads.
Then I take off distributor cap, and then all I need to do is undo one bolt, and this distributor slots clean off.
Next up, undo the 2 bolts that secure the coil. This is the device that boosts the electrical charge provided by your car's battery.
So a coil turns 12 volts into 50,000 volts, and that's the sort of voltage you need to ignite the air-fuel mix.
If your ignition system has been misbehaving, then there's a good chance that the spark plugs will be damaged. So the next step is to check these. And what do you know? If
you look at it, it's all black and sooty, and if your spark plugs look like this, definitely change them out. Something as simple as changing your spark plugs every couple of years is a job really worth doing. It'll keep your engine running absolutely sweet.
So, with all of the old bits out, the Beetle is now ready for a brand new ignition kit. A fresh set of HT leads, plugs, coil and distributor costs around £95.
Now that we've got the old distributor out, we can see the difference between it and the new one. Now, the old one is completely mechanical, so as that rotor arm turns round, it opens and shuts the points. And it's within this that a mechanical fault can occur, giving us bad ignition. The new one, however, has none of that. It uses this, a Hall effect sensor, and that uses magnetism to detect the position of the rotor arm, giving me a spark exactly when I need it. And that's why this is a great improvement. Okay, on to fitting the new parts. And it's pretty much the reverse of taking it all off using exactly the same tools. So first job, new spark plugs back in the engine.
Once those are screwed back in, you can then attach the new HT leads to each of the plugs and bolt in the shiny new coil. Once that's done, it's time to fit the electronic distributor.
When I took it off, I made sure I took note of the rotor arm, and it was pointing in that position, so hopefully this will engage just where it needs to. Nice and firm down, and that rotor arm went straight in place. Now it's time to reconnect my HT leads. So it's cap back on.
But before you can tighten the distributor bolt for good, there's one final job left to do. Timing. To do this, you need a strobe gun. which hooks up to one of the HT leads and fires a light in time with the ignition spark.
You start it up.
You then point the gun at two timing marks, one that's on the big crankshaft pulley and one that's on the crankcase. They should line up, but if not, you twist the distributor slightly until they do.
That's the timing set. Now you can really hear the difference with that idle. This engine is now running as sweet as a nut.
Time to take this VW Beaut out for a spin.
Oh, I tell you what, that ignition. Woo-hoo-hoo! Well, the first thing to note is it works. It's peppy, it's perky, and that's because the new ignition system provides a better spark, giving me a way better burn in the cylinder, and that equals more power, and I can use it right here.
Conversion kits like this are available for many petrol cars fitted with conventional mechanical distributors. And the job took less than an hour and cost less than £100.